Guys, it's Callum here again from RRCDG Entertainment. Back again with the third and final part of our review on the QTX products by QTX Sound. I've listed the addresses and things several times, don't need to say them again. So where we left off is we were talking about RCA cables and things like that. Hopefully this video won't be as long. But if I turn this back on, you can hear the fans fairly loud. Let's turn it off again. So, as I was talking previously, I'll turn all these down. If I press this button in here, now that's gone out to jack and USB. So that's I pressed it off basically. If I press it in, that allows me to change to the RCA ports, which are, and for better understanding, this is an RCA cable. It's just different colours. This is an RCA cable that you may recognise it today, which is basically just a red and white version. An RCA cable is nothing more than a cable that looks like that. Now, let's say for instance, if you did lose your cable or whatever, you could use you can actually use a simple video cable. It will work just as well. It is an RCA cable. It will just have three ports instead of one, instead of two. So you can just bend the yellow one back and just click the other two in there, and it will work exactly the same. Now, instead of this going into a jack, this goes into another RCA cable. So I have two, or rather I have four RCA pieces. So I have two red and two white. So I now have four RCA pieces instead of two and a jack. A jack is basically, as you've seen before, it's just a standard headphone jack that you get, headphones and whatever. So going on to talking about mixers and things like that. Bloody hell, I've been doing this for over an hour. If I wanted to connect this to, let's say, a CD player mixer, like, I don't know, a Newmark or a Pioneer, what I would do is on the back of the mixers, this one doesn't actually have one, but on the back of the CD player mixers, there will be about 4 or 5 of these things, and those are obviously the RCA ports. Now, on the back, it will have main, and then it will have 2 RCA ports, and then it will have 2 more saying left, and then another 2 more saying right. Now, what you do is you take your CD player. So imagine. Let's just say that this is the mixer. This is not the QTX one. Let's say that this is a Newmark mixer, and I've got 2 CD players either side. I would take the left CD player, plug it into the left, and the right into the right. Now, what I would then do is I would take one of these babies, and then I would take the 2 red RCA ports. No, hang on. Bloody hell, I got this wrong. There we go. I would take these 2 RCA ports and plug them, colour coordinated, into the main. So on the back it will say main, and then it will have left and right. So I plug this into the main section, and then from the main I then plug that into this mixer. Now what that will allow me to do is I won't have any volume control at all. So I can do this as much as I want, I can do this as much as I want. I will have no control. But that will allow the sound to be played from the mixer, from the CD players, through that mixer, into the mixer, and then out the speakers. But, although I may not have no sound on here, I will have a crossfader, and I will have 2 volume controls on the CD player, on the Newmark or Pioneer CD player mixer. So, what I can then do is, I have no control over this, but I have control over that, so I can still do my job. So I can still adjust the volume and not have to worry about volume not being able to be turned down or whatever, because I still have access to volume control. And although I may not have control over the volume, I still have control over the effects. So I can still plug microphones into this one. So essentially, I will have 4 or 5 additional microphone ports. So at the moment on this one I've got 3. So on the other one that I'm thinking about getting, which just happens to be a Newmark, I'll have an additional microphone port. So I'll have 4 microphone ports, or 5. I think it's 4. So yeah, so I'll have 4 microphone ports, which will allow me to have obviously additional extras, which then these 3 can be used for karaoke and wireless mics and things like that. The problem you'll find is that you will have to plug a wireless mic into this. There's no other way around it. So if you do have karaoke, I always have, and I don't know why I do this, but I always have the DJ mic in channel 1 and a wireless mic in channel 2. That's it. In channel 2, channel 3. I don't know why I miss out channel 2. I just do. I just have the wireless mics are always in the right position for me to be on channel 3, and the DJ mic to be channel 1 because I can put it down on the table and it's all there on that side controlled. And I just, for some reason, I just miss out channel 2. I don't know why. I just do what I do. And obviously, if you press the PFL in on all of these, which just these little buttons at the bottom, you'll see your volume and things like that come up on this side. So what I will do is, for the benefit of this video, I'm going to turn the mixer back on, switch to the back, LCD screen lights up, plug this in. You can hear the sound coming through these speakers now. I'm going to press that out, so now I'm going to press that in, then I'm going to play this. Turn this up a little bit, and then we'll turn this up a bit. Then I'm going to make sure that this volume is on the right level. Down a bit. Turn this bass to about center. You don't need it on too high, because if you have it any higher than we really want it, then it just creates more problems really. Hang on, what am I doing? Yeah, I know what I'm doing now. There we go. Okay, so so just make sure that this is on right so that I don't blow the speakers. So I'm going to put this on the center. Because I had this down on left, no sound. As soon as I put it on center, I'll turn it on right, you get a lot of sound coming through. And the sound is coming through both speakers, and I will show you that now. Speaker. So, you should see the screen flashing in there actually. Maybe not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, sorry, that's an eBay message. So my apologies about that. So I've turned these down. It's still on. I've just turned them down. Now I have a master section. I can have this up as high as I want, and then this can become my. Sorry about that. Then this can become my master control. But I'm going to turn them both down, and I'm going to pause this. I'm going to turn this off for a second to save on power, obviously. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect that speaker into this mixer, so that I will have control over 2. But I'm then going to have a problem, because if I do that, I am only going to get sound coming through this one, because this is 4 and 5. Now, because I only have a 2-piece and not a 4-piece, I've been looking everywhere and I can't seem to get a 4 cable that goes into 2 jacks. But if I did that anyway, I still wouldn't be able to plug the other mixer in. So this is why it's vital that you plug one speaker into the other, because, as I said before, I wouldn't be able to plug a mixer, a set of CD players into this mixer because there'd be no RCA ports left. So that's why I have one RCA port going to a laptop and then another RCA port, preferably this one, because I have the RCA, well, we're going to call it the RCA jack. So I have the RCA jack going into the laptop, and then I have the RCAs going into the mixers. Okay, so simple as that. It is literally as simple as that. So I could do that, but then I wouldn't have any control over the speakers anyway if I plug the left one into that one. So really, it just depends on your own personal preferences. But obviously, obviously I can have it either left or right depending on which one I choose. And to prove that to you now is, you've seen me being using the right one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cable out now. I'm going to move it over to the left one, so that now the left one is going to become the master volume instead of the right one. I'm going to show you that now. I'm going to play this, and you'll see. Nothing's coming out. This one's right up. This one is also right up, but nothing's coming out because, and get ready for this, I don't know how loud this is going to be. So this is now my master cable, because I've now taken it out of the right one and plugged it into the left one. So it really doesn't matter which one you have it in, but either way, whichever way you have it, one of these is going to be your controller, one of them. So it doesn't matter which one you have, your right or left, whichever your personal preferences are, one of these is going to be your controller for your volume. You won't be able to use them both, but you will have one of them as your controller. It just depends on which one you plug it into. I'm going to plug it into the right one now, just because I have it plugged into the right-hand speaker. I'm not the other way around, so it's just my own personal preferences. I'm weird like that. I'm weird in a lot of ways, actually. So yeah, so I'm going to put that on full volume. So you can see, if you have the volume up too loud without a lot of bass, you get a bit of distortion. So we're going to do this. So I can't really show you much about my job because I haven't really got